John Krill. I serve as the Student Athlete Support Services Coordinator at the University of North Dakota. There have been a lot of the features in TeamWorks Academics that have been game changers for me. So that's because there's a lot of different hats that I wear in all of the roles that I have as a support services coordinator. Being able to book appointments for student athletes through TeamWorks has been super easy and convenient because obviously it populates to their calendars and allows them to manage all of those. And then for post-appointment reports that the tutors will provide for me, really helps me better understand how well those sessions are operating, if there's anything I need to do to coordinate with our student athletes to improve the efficiency of those experiences, or if there's maybe an opportunity for me to connect a student athlete with a different tutor because there just wasn't an alignment or a connection with the tutor and the student athlete. All of that being in one space on TeamWorks has been super easy and convenient for me because it's not my only role with tutor stuff, and the fact that it's really easy, streamlined, super convenient for me to access all those things, schedule all those things in a really easy and convenient way makes my life really easy. And then with team travel, another big thing for me, sending out correspondences to professors when it comes to team travel. Especially for the sports where the travel roster will change. If I were to talk to another school considering utilizing TeamWorks Academics, I would say the amount of streamlined information and scheduling organization that it provides, the extent to which you can collaborate with a lot of different entities and work together across different departments to accomplish the things that you want to and make sure you're providing all the necessary opportunities for your student athletes to succeed. TeamWorks is a phenomenal platform to allow you to do so. For the things that I've seen for improvements from utilizing the TeamWorks platform, the biggest thing has been efficiency in my meetings with student athletes, how quickly I'm able to get them organized with creating task lists, helping them to identify tutoring opportunities to connect with and scheduling those appointments. Previously, those meetings would last a lot longer for me to utilize all the different platforms and things that I needed to keep those organized. With it all being in one space and being super easy and convenient for me to access and utilize, that's something that saves me a lot of time with those appointments and actually has allowed me to meet with more student athletes, which is something at the end of the day is benefiting everyone. When it comes to our GPAs, which we've seen increases of for the teams that I support as I've dug more into utilizing TeamWorks as a platform, GPAs for football and men's basketball, two teams that I advised, increased from fall to spring as I incorporated more of TeamWorks. And then for travel, for track, there was a lot better streamlining for communicating which individual athletes were going to which competitions, which reduced the number of grievances that we saw from professors and faculty who had issues with travel. And then another thing is just peace of mind. Me being able to check on what tasks my student athletes have very easily, being able to identify when they miss things. Previously, it was hard for me to keep those things organized, and there were some points where I would second guess myself as to whether I told a student athlete about a certain task or made sure that they were aware of things. But again, the peace of mind, being able to relax and say, I've got these platforms put in place, I've got these structures that I can rely on if I need to go double check something, to make sure that I remember if I've reminded my student athletes of something or if I've scheduled them for appointments and all of that stuff. Again, it just really helps me be at ease that I'm doing everything that I need to do to support our student athletes and putting them in a position to succeed. One of our offensive linemen who had a very hard time with keeping himself organized around all of the tasks and everything that he had to do. Certainly between the fall and the spring, as I started to implement more of the academics tasks, which, giving permission to coaches to be able to access and allowing them to be able to be involved with things and see how things were going. And then empowering that student athlete to see the progress he was making on his tasks and be in control of checking those things off, marking them as complete, and seeing him really start to flourish in that additional structure was something that his GPA from the fall to the spring increased, I want to say 0.8 points, which was super exciting to see. And the biggest thing, not just the quantitative improvement that we saw from his engagement with those additional structures and that infrastructure to help him, but how much more confident in what he was in himself, that he could do all the things he needs to for school, be on top of all of his work and succeed in his classes, has paid off massively when it comes to not only how he operates now, but then also how he can instill that confidence in some of the other student athletes who are currently struggling with their tasks and with keeping things organized. That success story we can kind of utilize to say, hey, we've seen people who have had hard times, but if you trust the process and trust the structure that we want to put in place, there's a lot of awesome growth that we can see from our student athletes.